Good evening, dear listener. This is Nicole from CalmMeLord. Tonight, we're going to journey back in time through an inspirational Bible tale. It's a story of courage and faith, of standing up for what's right, despite the odds. It's a story that teaches us the importance of determination and the power that comes from believing in God and in oneself. So make sure you're comfy, tucked in tight with your favorite blanket, and let your eyes rest. Tonight is about relaxation. Let the stress and worries of the day slip away as we invite peace and calmness to surround us. Tonight's tale involves a young shepherd boy, Daniel, a mighty king named Darius, and a den full of roaring lions. Once upon a time in the grand city of Babylon lived a young Hebrew boy named Daniel. He was not any ordinary boy. He had an unshakable faith in God and was endowed with wisdom beyond his years. Despite being in a foreign land, far away from his people, his faith and trust in God never wavered. King Darius, the ruler at the time, was a strong and fierce king. Even though he had an undoubtedly powerful presence, he was a fair and just king. He saw Daniel's wisdom and had him appointed to high office. Sadly, this created jealousy and envy among the other officers. They did not like that a young Hebrew boy held such a high position. The officers decided to plot a plan against Daniel, exploiting his unwavering faith in God as his weakness. They maliciously convinced King Darius to make a law condemning anyone who prayed to any god or man, except him, to death by lions. Daniel learned of the new law, but he did not falter. He continued praying to his God as he had always done, his courage resolute. His dedication remained steadfast, his faith unshaken. As expected, Daniel's enemies caught him praying. With a heavy heart, although deeply grieved, King Darius, under the manipulation of the envious officers, ordered Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. The night that Daniel spent in the lion's den was one filled with tension. Back in the palace, King Darius was restless. He had started to see through the officers' manipulation, and the knowledge that he'd condemned an innocent boy weighed heavily on his conscience. It was a longer night for him than it would be for Daniel. Meanwhile, Daniel, in the belly of the den, calmly sat, his heart steady, his faith strong. He had set himself to God's will, and no amount of danger could push him away from it. The lions that should have been his end stalked around him but didn't harm him. At dawn, King Darius hurried to the lion's den, anxiety clinging to him. A dreadful silence greeted him. As his eyes slowly adjusted to the darkness, he saw Daniel quietly sitting, untouched. Not a hair on his head was harmed. The king ordered Daniel to be lifted out of the den, and he declared that Daniel's God was indeed the living God, who rescued him from the mouth of the lions. Daniel's faith had shielded him, and God had shut the mouths of the lions. The king learnt an important lesson that day, not to take decisions in haste, and the ones who plotted against Daniel faced their consequences. Today's story, my dear listener, teaches us about faith and the courage to stand up for our beliefs. It teaches us that even in the face of danger, if we hold on to our faith, no harm can touch us. I hope this story gives you courage to face your own lions, knowing that God is with you. As you drift off to sleep, let these words wrap around you like a comforting blanket. Good night, dear friend. Until next time, this is Nicole from CalmMeLord, saying goodbye and sweet dreams.